What up, G Life? It's your boy MC Shadow back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That is how you help my channel get into the algorithm. I highly appreciate if you go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? Don't forget to subscribe to my other channel, Menace Society M.O.D, where we talk about stuff outside of the streets. Now, what I wanted to talk about was something I was having in a conversation with one of my good subscribers, right? He asked me, like, oh, if I watch other, street channels, right? And he told me, like, man, that's crazy. Your channel was around before theirs, but they have, like, a lot more subscribers, and that's not cool and it's not fair. And I appreciate the support, my homie, you know what I mean? And, those kind words. But to me, honestly, I don't really, it doesn't bother me. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm surprised that I have as much subscribers as I do. I never thought I would have as many as I do. So I appreciate, what I have, I know other people wish they would have more and stuff like that, but I'm just glad that, people are interested in what I have to say either way. It still blows my mind, nonetheless. You get what I mean? So I don't really care for the overall amount of, like, views and everything like that, because it still wows me with what I get. Right? And other channels, even though they're similar to mine's, our channels are still, different, so we have, different kind of content, they go into individual cases and stuff like that, while I choose to talk about, areas, I don't speak on individual cases because of, those are slippery slopes and kind of things that homies wish, homies just don't talk about. But these individuals are not gang related, so, it's cool for them to do it because, they don't have no say so in getting a hold of these individuals or why they should follow anything, right? Now that makes it dangerous, but at the same time, people are gonna do what they're gonna do. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But there is channels that are out there that are interesting. Some that are right here. That I have that I'm actually subscribed to. Except Swamp Story. He's the only one that I'm not subscribed to, and that's only because Swamp Stories, he tends to disrespect a lot. He talks a lot of shit. You know what I mean? It's not the smartest thing to do, but I am aware that that's how he gained his subscribers, right? They like the shit talking he does and the jokes he tells, you know what I mean? Because 9 times out of 10, the people that are watching are not gang related, so the fact that he's talking shit on these individuals and their lifestyles is this kind of stuff that they like, right? Even though it makes no sense that they're watching gang content, but this like these individuals. But hey, it's weird world we live in, bro. So. So, that's how he gets his following, so I could understand why he does what he does, even though it's dangerous. I mean, he does it nonetheless, right? Cali's Most Dangerous, he's a good one, right? He covers mostly black neighborhoods, right? But he does do some Hispanic neighborhoods. He's a good channel, I feel like sometimes maybe he, like, tends to, like, kind of, like, glorify it a little bit, you know what I mean? But other than that, his content's good, in my opinion. Yeah, Barrio Tales is another one, right? Who's, interesting content, you know what I mean? I disagree with some of his points of views and some of the things that he says, or some of his points of views, right, up on the lifestyle and his overall view or glorification, right? But nonetheless, he has good content, you know what I mean? I recommend it, what he does, right? Like I said, they are individuals. They have the subscription because they talk about individual cases, right? They talk about, certain, what's up with the homie Limpy hitting me up, huh? Certain cases, right? And I just don't go into that because obviously, homies don't like it when individuals go into that kind of stuff, right? Because, you could really jeopardize somebody's case, in case they want to appeal it, or, how can I say, because you could manipulate the people's overall perspective on the case, right? And it could affect that, right? That's why I just don't go into individual, and they sometimes tend to cover things that are ongoing and stuff like that, right? Some of the things that probably not the best thing to do, right? I am aware of California laws and how they work, right? I'm aware of what you can say, what you can't say, what you can show, what you can't show, right? And I feel like sometimes individuals don't really know this information, right? So they're not aware, so they put out stuff that they probably shouldn't be putting out, right? But I mean, to everyone means their own, you know what I mean? I always say it's very, very important. If you want to be putting out stuff out there or talking about, breaking the law, at least know your law, at least know how the law system works before you want to, tend to do anything, because then, it could get sticky, right? Even though I still get people in the comments saying, yeah, you can't say that. Clearly people who don't know nothing about their laws, right? know nothing about their rights either way, right? It's crazy and wild. It's funny too though. And one of the ones that I do really like is Killer Chronicles, right? He's another one, but he right there, he does really that one. He does really really good work. He's like a, how can I say, a journalist, right? He does his due diligence. He does it professionally. He doesn't give his overall perspective or his inputs on the lifestyle or the case, right? He just speaks on the things that he knows, right? From doing his his research, right? He doesn't give like his perspective on the matters and how things should have gone or should go or nothing like that. He just sticks to what he needs to stick to, which is very important. A lot of other channels tend to kind of like throw their inputs in there, and that kind of gets a little bit dangerous and sticky because they're not attached to the lifestyle or these gangs, and for them to be now throwing their 2 cents in there, it kind of like it's like you're involving yourself, so it kind of could get a little you know want to make fun of certain neighborhoods or make certain neighborhoods look bad or something like that. Like, it's not stuff I recommend people to be out there doing. And in YouTube, they're aware of what people want to see and talk about and stuff like that, because as I'm going to show once this video is over, right, I'm going to show how YouTube works, right, on the analytics app, right. Once this part is over, there's another part to it, right, showing the ins and out of YouTube and how people know what kind of content to put out there and stuff like that, because the app lets you know, right. So they're aware of what people want to see and stuff like that, but sometimes just because people want to see that, it's probably not a smart idea for people to do, right? You still have to use your own judgment, right? Your own common sense, right, on certain things, right? But no hate in me. Like I said, I'm subscribed to them. I enjoy their content, and the fact that they pass my channel, hey, that's good, homie. You want to see people succeed, you know what I'm saying? The only reason I'm just not subscribed to Swamp Stories is because, like I said, his overall disrespect, I don't feel it, right? No hate for him. I don't want to see his downfall, nothing like that. I just, choose not to watch the content, you know what I mean? Because, of just how I view the perspective, it's just like, it doesn't catch my attention no longer, right? That's just what it is. If I fully support somebody, I'm gonna be subscribed. But if I don't, I'm not gonna be subscribed, because if I don't support them, why would I subscribe? I still have to stand by my morals. It's okay to disagree with individuals. We don't all have to like the same thing or be subscribed to the same thing. You know what I mean? We're all gonna have our different points of views. But overall, these channels, I hope, they do well and keep soaring, you know what I mean? But since I don't belong to the YouTube Partner Program, they don't push my content, right? The only way my content gets pushed is that my subscribers, they push it for me, you know what I mean? So I appreciate each and every one of them that views it and does their thing, right? Because all of that does help, right? Because since I'm not a partner with YouTube, they don't push my content not because they don't like me or some conspiracy. It's because since we're not in the partner program, there's no reason for them to be pushing my channel. You know what I mean? Because we don't have that agreement, right? So my content, the only way it gets viewed is by people who are already subscribed or people that push it for me, which is always appreciated, because I don't have social media, you know what I mean? But I do have individuals out there that push my channel, that I appreciate, like homies from my neighborhood, the homie Biggs, Greedy, Crimes, all of them, Ghost. I appreciate, everything that they do, because they don't have to. I don't tell them, hey, we're from the same neighborhood, so push my, the fact that they do it willingly, I really, do appreciate that. The homies from M.O.D, obviously, too, you know what I mean? And all of them, they help out too, right? And pushing the content in their social media. So I always appreciate what they do, right? But yeah, no hate for these channels, hey, a toda madre, they're doing their thing, homie, I tip my hats off to what they do. They put out good stuff. Like I said, some are a little different than others, but nonetheless, but yeah, if you guys want to know how YouTube works, here's an idea right here on how my YouTube works. So this is my YouTube analytics, right? We're going to move this right here. And to see how all of this works, right? The analytics, basically the app, it shows you, how many people viewed your channel, from, the last 28 days. I have gotten 67,000 views or whatever. To what videos be getting watched, where people be commenting. So analytics right here shows you how much money your videos made. Obviously, since I'm not able to be monetized by YouTube, obviously it's zero, right? Because people can see right here, right, earnings. See, it says I'm not able for monetization, right? So till to this day, you know what I mean? Because obviously we're right here in August, right? So this lets you know pretty much, what videos people are watching, from what time do they watch, how often do they watch. It pretty much, it keeps track of everything, right? From what time of the day do they watch right here, right? The darker, it means, that roughly around this time is when they watch. The lighter is roughly when they don't watch. From what age, are the individuals that are watching your channel. Roughly, it tells you the age, the gender of, people who view your channel, the country. Right here is the last 28 days, right? It says Canada. Normally, it will say like, I'll have people watching New Zealand and Iraq and Iran and shit like that. So I always find it a trip, and it's a trip, that people watch me in other countries, and hey, I tip my hats off, that's pretty dope, even though it's at a small percentage, nonetheless, it's a trip, right? To people who watching it's with subtitles, not subtitles, to people who are not subscribed that watch my channel, to people who are subscribed that watch my channel. You see, a lot of people that are not subscribed watch my channel, bro, they don't want to subscribe. I don't know. They just like to watch, I guess. They want to support, but without really actually supporting, what your audience watches. So this is right here what normally my audience watches, right? Like different, I guess, channels that my audience that normally visits my channel are other channels that they watch, so it lets roughly around, who are people watching that subscribe to your channel as well, right? To other channels that your audience watches, right? So I guess these are channels that people who are subscribed to my channel watch these other channels, right? So it lets me know who are people viewing that watch my channel as well, right? So it gives you a good amount of information of people, and all of that, of people who, watch. Don't get it twisted. That is not that's not who I'm subscribed. That's, channels your audience watches, right? So, just want to make that clear because there's some channels on there that I'm definitely not subscribed to. You know what I mean? So, the format that people view my, and like I said, revenue, like I said, I'm not monetized, so it's irrelevant, right? But that's just to get an idea for people, how the app works and, how you're able to find information. So it gives you ideas like, oh, your audience wants to see videos about this and that and this and that. That's why when people start making certain kind of videos, I understand that it's because of the analytics, the reason they're doing it, right? When they talk about drama or beefs and stuff like that, it's because that's what the audience wants to see. I don't entertain the analytics. Like, I'm aware what people want to see and what they will, but I decide to still do my own kind of videos because, nonetheless, my videos get views, right? Even though it's not to the amount that other channels do, it's still getting views. So those videos are for those people, So when people say like, oh, but it didn't really get any views, but nobody wants to watch that. No, well, people watch it still, nonetheless, and those people count. I know people may not think that they shouldn't count because it's a smaller percentage, but every view counts, So if those people are enjoying it, then, I mean, that's the purpose of the video, for those individuals, they enjoyed it. I know that there's some people that like to do what everybody else does, or they're going to do it because everyone else is doing it. But I don't think like that, I don't tend to follow those kind of, trends and stuff like that, I kind of, do what I want to do, and, the messages and the topics that I see, fit or appropriate to talk about, based off of, my beliefs. You get what I'm saying? And not so much of like trends and stuff like that. But yeah, just to get an idea,